Greetings people of YouTube, it's your boy Zelkulad here, back with another video. And on today's video we're going to be unboxing more Megaman figures. In fact, originally I was just going to do just the one box that I recently purchased from the same seller that I got those Kid Robot figures from. But later on I ended up buying some other Megaman figures and they arrived, all of them are practically close to each other. In fact, two of the packages arrived at the exact same time, not the one I bought from the seller from. Two different ones. In fact, one of them actually was supposed to arrive around the same, like on Friday actually, but no, they both arrived on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, that's when the actual package, unlike the other lot of Mega Man figures I bought from the same seller from, arrived. So we have not just one package, we just have 1, 2, 3. How many boxes are in this house? Just 3. If I had a 4th one, I could have just completed the whole joke, but no. It would not work. But anyway, yeah. I bought all of these off in Mercari. In fact, I didn't even realize I ordered this much. And at this point, right, I just call this like Confessions of a Mercari Holic, but that would be copyright infringement. So I'm just gonna, you know, call this idiot just bought a bunch of Mega Man action figures off the secondary market. I'll probably think of a title later. I'm not really good at titles. But anyway, yeah, I bought a bunch of Mega Man figures, and I figured that why not just, you know, combine all of them into one video. I think it'd be a good idea. And with that being said, let's only focus on this one package first. And let's open this up. Yeah, I don't have any other exact on that. This is the only one I have. It's in the pink bubble wrap. That's unique. And we got the... Oh my god! This is the original Ruby Spears Mega Man action figure. Yeah, I actually bought this like a while ago. And I bought this just for the sole reason of completing my Mega Man collection. Honestly, I did not expect him to be this. Well, I know he's not that big. He's like 5 inches tall, but I wasn't. But seeing him in photos versus seeing him in person, it's like pretty. It's like a unique experience. He seems to be in good condition. A lot of these older Mega Man action figures tend to have a lot of wear and tear on the chest and a lot of yellowing, but this one's one of those few ones that actually aged very well. However, unfortunately, it did not came with the removable, it came with the extra arm and the projectile. I remember seeing the projectiles being sold for $19 fucking dollars. Even when if they try to sell me it for like less than that, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not paying like 10 bucks for a projectile. Even if I use my Mercari money, I'm not spending that much on it. However, there is another one of these vintage Mega Man figures that just has just the arm and the projectile. I'm thinking about buying that, but that's like $83. Not 83. $38. But that's autism. I don't know. I'm still debating on whether or not if I want to do that or not. That way I'll actually have it like complete. And if you're wondering how much it's cost me, about $17 because I did use part of my Mercari money for the shipping. And actually looking at it, it doesn't look too bad for $19.94. It's cool that I got this guy in my collection. Articulation wise, he just only moves up and down. The swivels, the head swivels. The waist rotation and the feet can barely move. I could have sworn this guy had some like knee articulation, but it doesn't seem he has any. Well, for being one of the, well, I wouldn't say the first Mega Man action figure, because there is one that predated this, and I did see it in Mercari, but it was like $300, and I did not want to buy that. That's probably one of the only few Mega Man figures I will never get in the collection. But I'm happy to get at least this guy in my collection. You go over there so I can unbox your brothers, I think. Oh god, this this other giant box, the seller said he was gonna like wrap it and package it really good, and I could see like it's one of those really hard to open boxes. There's a lot of tape. Jesus Christ. I should really buy a new X-Acto knife because I can barely get into certain areas. Holy shit, there's a lot. And this thing's bubble wrapped. Is this another box? Oh no, it's just two cardboard pieces stuck to each other. I know what this is. Ha ha ha! It's the Retro Roto Megaman figure from Jazzwares. Complete in package. It's a little bit warped, but the seller did tell me about this, but I don't really care. I'm not too anal about packaging. But, oh my god. I'm very happy that I got this. This right here was my very first Mega Man action figure. Yeah, this thing was my very first. I already have one already. In fact, here is the new refurbished figure next to my original Mega Man figure. Oh my god, I just realized that the blue is slightly different than the blue on here. It's probably because this is a really old figure. I had this for a really long time. Yeah, you can tell I had this for a really long time. Look at all the wear and tear on this old figure. Yeah, what you're looking at is one of the only few childhood toys I have just lying around my room. You can tell I play with this a lot, and unfortunately, I still have the Mega Buster. It's in one of the boxes somewhere, but the reason why it just looks like that, because, well, the thing about this old figure line, like, it was meant to replicate the old art style of the original games. You can actually see it right here. There's Wily, and then there's Mega Man. And I think that the figure does perfectly replicate a very classic Mega Man. Because I said this earlier with one of my friends, that there is really no definitive design of Mega Man. Because Mega Man is constantly different every time you see him. It has a similar design, but there's always a lot of artistic interpretations of the character. It's not like with Sonic and Mario, like there's like the definitive design of those characters. Mega Man's completely different every time you see him. In fact, proof of that right there. But this is a much more classic design. And back to what I was going to say about the arm. The reason why the Buster came off was because probably much more easier for me to explain it if I have the thing in hand. And I'll talk about why this is shiny in a minute. There's these little ball joints, like a ball joint here, like a double ball joint peg on the arm, and you could like move, like it is slightly movable, but I don't recommend moving it too much because then you end up popping it. You think you just pop it back in, but no, because the hand and the cannon are very hollowed. They have a tendency to get, what's the word I'm looking for? Get stuck in there. It gets stuck in there real good. In fact, I tried like hours and hours to try to get it out, and it never worked. Also, I just ended up replacing his arm with one of the Build-A-Figure arms. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this thing actually has I don't know if you guys already noticed, but this is actually, it includes a buildable Mega Man. In fact, this is actually one of the first figures I had in my collection where I was exposed to the concept of Build-A-Figures. And it just comes with a shinier version of the arm. Now you may think like, oh, is it gonna be like a shiny version of this figure specifically? Yes and no. I say yes and no because the actual figure looks like shit. In fact, here's a picture of it. I was genuinely disappointed how it looked. But I am not disappointed with this. I'm actually very happy that I got a brand new version in package. I was originally going to buy this on Amazon for 30 bucks, but I got it for like less than that. I think this cost me around $20 or so. Yeah, I think it was $20. So I got it for like less than that, especially when I use my Mercari money to like, you know, cheapen the shipping cost. I was originally gonna buy the same figure in Macari, but the seller wasn't really telling me when it was gonna arrive or gave me any information that they got my money or not, and I waited for days, and I just told them I just want my money back, and they gave me my money back. In fact, the seller was selling this thing in an even worse condition package, which I was gonna open. I mean, this one is not perfect either because it's about to like open up, but to be honest, I kind of don't want to completely open up. Yeah, it's kind of weird because I'm not like, I know some people are gonna be like, oh, it's an inbox collector. I don't know, there's something about this I just don't want to open. Maybe one day I'll just buy another one that's like loose. I mean, I did see one that is loose and has the completed Build-A-Figure for like 30. I may buy that, who knows. But I'm just genuinely happy that I got this guy back in brand new condition. I bet you the other versions probably not happy that I replaced them. And before we go, take a look at the back. You can see all the figures that are available. Mega Man, Proto Man, Elect Man, Shadow Man, which is pretty obscure because there are not many figures of other Robot Masters. And then you got Guts Man. I actually always, like, I remember seeing these in CVS, and I always remember seeing Elect Man at the store. I bought this figure back in 2000 and, let's see, when did the first season of Ben 10 Alien Force premiered again? Because it was that long ago. And I always see Elect Man in CVS for so long. They don't have any more. If they did, I'll probably be like, oh god, they haven't sold this guy for like the last 20 years. And these figures came out like around 2005. Oh my god, 2005? This thing is 20 years old! And for 20 years old, the package is still in somewhat good condition. But yeah, I still want to get the whole of some of the... I still want to get a hold of some of the vinyl figures from this line. I know they say coming soon, but by the time that they put that out, they only have the license for like about more than a year, and then they just... That's the thing I hate about the company Jazzwares. It's a little personal rant. Whenever they get a license to a video game character, they're never committed to it. They're never committed to it. They're just gonna have it for like a few years, and then they just gotta fuck off with it. And I know they have the FNAF license at the moment, but how much you want to bet it's only gonna last for like a few years, and then they're just gonna fuck off with it? People are gonna be like, oh, it's a blessing in disguise. We're gonna have no more fucking Funko shit. Well, I hate to tell you guys, but, yeah, this thing's not gonna last too long. So, yeah, keep praying. And this comes from a guy who genuinely does not give a shit about FNAF. But yeah, I'm happy I got this. And on to the final package. This is actually from the same seller that I got those Kid Robot figures from. And I'm genuinely happy that I bought this because this is another lot of Mega Man action figures. However, this time it's not just a specific brand. It's a lot of various different brands. Like, he literally put all of like different Mega Man action figures, different vinyl figures into this one box. They only cost me about $30. So I guess in total I spent about $67 on all of these, which honestly is not that bad when you really consider it. Oh shit, this is like this. And we'll talk about that later. Now that we got everything out of the lot, here's the first thing I pulled out. And it's one of those, only at GameStop. So I guess this was an exclusive thing. This is from a company that makes these tiny vinyl statues, which I'm not going to pronounce because I would sound retarded if I did. Honestly, I couldn't swear these things were a lot bigger. Or maybe I'm just misremembering it wrong and this pictures may look bigger than it should be. I always see this guy on discount a lot. I never purchase it because I'm not too big into statues, which makes you wonder why I even bought this lot. Like I said, I just bought it because of Mega Man. But now having it in hand, like, it doesn't look too bad. Eyes are kind of a little bit messed up, but that's okay. This figure doesn't look too bad itself. Could just open it, but I generally don't know how to... Is that how you open it? Let's try opening this guy. And here we have this little statue up and close, and the eyes are still messed up. There's a lot of splotching going on. It's an alright looking thing. It's not terrible, but I will admit that if I got somebody to repaint this, it would probably look better. These, and like I said before, these aren't something I don't collect, but because it was in a lot of other Mega Man figures, I don't mind this that much. The only thing I do have issue is I don't know where to put this guy, because my room is not one of those rooms where I just display my figures willy-nilly. I put them all on shelves, so this guy is probably going to be in the shelf for a long time until I move out and put him somewhere with my other vinyl figures like Meggy and Tari, because I do have figurines of those. But other than that, it's a pretty alright figure. It would have been a lot better if the paint was better, but these are like what? These were like $20? Like $20 like statues. Can't really complain too much. Next we have is this vinyl figure. What is this? Funko Mystery Minis. Shipping of Arcade Machine. I guess this is another one of those blind box things, which has a bunch of video game characters. Mega Man's in there. This wasn't a lot. How do I open this thing? Well, that was annoying. My battery died the moment I was about to gush over this figure. So, yeah, here it is again. Like, this is a really nice looking figure. I really genuinely like this a lot. If this was the actual Funko Mega Man, like, I would actually have at least this. There's not much I can say about it. It's like, the fact that it's a lot more nicer than the act of the statue itself, that's kind of embarrassing. I know I'm being a little bit too harsh on it, but that's my honest opinion, really. But these are about the same quality as the World Nintendo vinyl figures I talked about a while back. Yeah, that's probably why I'm happy about this. I really like this a lot. And then we got another Funko related Mega Man. I don't know what these are called, but I'm probably going to put on the screen later on. These are very tiny figures. And I'm going to talk about them individually, one by one. I'm going to be talking about Mega Man X. Yeah, probably like one of the only few Mega Man X figures in this lot. And, oh, they actually gave him his Buster. These kind of remind me of the old, like, what is it called, like the Fisher-Price Little People line? I can't remember what they were called. But that's what it reminds me of. It's weird to see Mega Man X smiling. Like, yeah, he's happy that the entire colony of Eurasia landed on fucking Earth. But why are these tiny things more properly painted than the statue itself? And these are even smaller! Yeah, I don't understand that. But looking at the sculpt on the helmet, they actually capture his helmet pretty nicely. It's so weird. It's cleanly painted, these things. These are tinier. I know it's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea with this, like, stylization, but to me, these look really nice. I don't really mind these. I mean, I wouldn't actually buy them that much, but they look pretty nice. Speaking of, like, nice, here is Cutman. Cutman's also pretty nice, too. Just a simplistic Mega Man design. And they gave him eyebrows. It's kind of weird how his head's a little bit more square than usual. It should have been more rounded, it would have been funnier. Paint is really nice too. No, you can't really rotate the rolling cutter. It's actually just part of the sculpt, and they actually painted it very nicely too. It doesn't seem like it's just... It probably might be just a piece that's just glued on there, but still, if it isn't, then they just, you know, properly paint this thing. Oh, I think it is, because look, it's a little paint splotch. But for the rest of it, looks nice. It has a little bit of articulation just on the head, just only 1 point of articulation. And then we got Rush. It would be my third Rush figure, because I have like a keychain and a another Vinyl Rush figure from the Loyal Subjects line. And even though this is just a, some of the details are painted like the arms, I like how they sculpted his feet so that when they painted the some of the arms, it looks like, I don't know what I'm trying to say here, but this is a really nice looking figure. I actually like this a lot more than the other two. So how much effort they actually put in, because Rush is not just a regular like humanoid character, because he has canine, it's a dog, but they put a lot of, you know, attention to detail and thought into this guy. Really nice looking Rush figure. Probably not gonna use it as a main Rush, but for now, this is acceptable. And finally, we got Beat. Yes, the character that appeared in Mega Man 5 got a figure. This is actually one of the only few Beat figures to exist in Mega Man action figures. I think there was one made in Jazzwares, and there were like other Beat vinyl figures. Because I can't think of all of them because they hardly ever make figures on the animal characters of Mega Man. They hardly even make figures of like the enemies in general. And honestly, unlike the other one, this one actually could be passed off as being like a regular Beat figure. Because unlike the other ones where it just has like the standard black eye Funko thing, this one actually has the proper like mono eye. Yeah, you could really pass this off as an actual Beat figure. It doesn't look too deformed. If you put it next to a regular Mega Man figure, it will look nice. And again, once again, like the paint is really nice on these things. How are these a lot better than the statue? I don't understand that. I don't know what else to say about these things. These are really nice looking things. And finally, we're down to our last lot of Mega Man figures. And I'm saving these for last because I actually have a lot to talk about. In fact, I'm gonna have to like scale down, like lower the camera a little bit so you can see them a lot better. Now, the final figures we're gonna be talking about are from a specific line called the 66 Action Trading Figure. I'm not sure if that's the actual name, because sometimes they're called something else. That's what I'm gonna call them, or I'm just gonna call them the 66 Bandai figure just for simplicity's sake. And these are 2-inch Mega Man figures, and you'd think they'll just be vinyl, non-pulpable figures like the last figures we talked about. No, these are articulated Mega Man figures, and here's Volnut. Well, actually, this guy has a tighter joints than my actual Mega Man figure, because I actually do own a Mega Man figure. In fact, here he is, right here. I'm gonna put this guy aside. Now, this is actually the very first Mega Man figure I got from this line. These were around $8. I bought this at Target, and honestly, these are pretty nice for what they are. Lots of good paint, very good articulation. I mean, it's not gonna be like fantastic, but the fact that it has the bare minimum, like ball jointed head, ball jointed arms, a bicep swivel, hinge at the elbow, articulation at the wrist. It's kind of tight. Oh, and that happens because again, these are smaller figures, so it will happen a lot. That's a ball jointed like leg, hinge, and a ball jointed foot. And also, he has a waist rotation there. You can't see it because there we go. Yeah, and I'm genuinely surprised that he can make a figure this posable in this scale when fucking Hasbro could even do the same thing for. Hang on. When fucking Hasbro could even do the same with this $20 Legends. This thing has barely any articulation, not even on the foot. And this is an $8 figure, and it has a lot more nicer paint than a $20 Legends. Except I paid $25 for it because this was 500 pesos. Like approximately about 25 bucks. I don't understand why this is. I'm not going to even talk about this anymore. This thing pisses me off. Glad I'm selling this away. So yeah, rant over. And we're just going to talk about, you know, Volnut. This is actually the very first Mega Man Volnut figure I got. I know there's like the 4-inch Senno line, but that's expensive nowadays, so I'm not gonna buy it. Honestly, I'm genuinely surprised at how detailed these guys are. Like, these are so small, but yet they have pretty much every single detail painted on this guy. Like, Mega Man's backpack is painted. They got his specific details painted for the most part. I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate because it's been a while since I played Mega Man Legends. I only played on the N64 and I never finished it because I lost the ROM for it, and I'm not gonna plan on playing it again because it's like it took forever to get to certain sections. These are really nice looking figures, and when I was like messing around with this guy off camera, he has a ball jointed diaphragm joint, which is something that the other Mega Man figure doesn't have. Aren't you the special little bitch? And what's cool about these things that they actually do have interchangeable hands. Here's this hand. Now the only downside is they're on these little... Oh, you can't really see it that well. Now the downside on these things that they're on these little rudders. You can see a little flesh color, which I don't understand why. They're on these flesh color like rudders, especially since they painted the hands a specific color. I don't know why they did that. Why not just mold it in blue plastic? I'll show what I meant when we get to the other ones. And we're not done talking about this line yet. Here is another Mega Man. This is him in red, supposedly based on like his Rush color scheme. It's a little bit more tighter than the other one. And yeah, I actually like the color scheme more. And what's cool about these little guys is that they actually come with other accessories too besides just the hands. They do come with effect parts or sometimes little pieces. And this guy comes with Rush. Yeah, he comes with Rush. And actually they bother painting his eyes, which is something you don't get with these kind of things. Kind of wish the entire thing was painted, but I don't know what the purpose of this line is, but I feel like you're supposed to use them for game pieces. I think that's what you're supposed to use them for, but these are pretty... They kind of remind me of Marvel Legends Showdown. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is. Like those 3-inch superposable figures that Toy Biz made that were also game pieces, but they also had their own stands, their cards, and other stuff. And most kids I know probably didn't know how to play this fucking game. We just have superposable figures with stands. My first exposure to that concept, by the way. But yeah, there's a lot of good detail on these guys. That's what they remind me of. That's what they remind me of. Marvel Legends Showdown, but with Mega Man. Just a superposable of those guys. Wow, these were $8, by the way. A lot of attention to detail on these things. And a lot of bang for your buck. Again, why are these things so much better than the Marvel Legends, like the smaller Marvel Legends figures? I don't understand that. Like, that's embarrassing. Like, this just goes to show that companies just don't give a fuck. Ugh. But yeah. Again, these things do come with extra hands. Here's Mega Man's extra hands, and again, they put them on this. Actually, no, it's not as bad as mine is, but still, I don't like how they just have them on like flesh color. Like they just paint over the flesh, and I don't know why they did this. Kind of makes it look a little cheap, but oh, and in case you're wondering if Volnut ever came with a little figurine, yeah, he did. He came with a Sirbot. For some reason, Sirbot doesn't get much treatment. Now you can see it in his face that, yeah, he got screwed over, that he didn't get his eyes painted. They're not very artistic. They're just one solid piece of plastic. They kind of look like gummies. Let's just hope that no idiot actually mistake these for actual gummies. These are pretty nice too, and even if they're just molded in translucent plastic, they have a lot of attention to detail on these things. Yeah, these are very nice looking guys. I really like this a lot. Now on to the last few figures. We got Mega Man X, Mega Man.exe, and Classic Mega Man again. Because the seller gave me like these unopened versions of the figures, which I do appreciate. And yes, I will attempt to actually build these. In fact, I'll do that right about now. Yep, here are all the figures assembled, except for Mega Man, because I already assembled him. He's still in his little tiny crack cocaine bag. yeah, these are all the Mega Man figures assembled. I'm not going to be talking about Classic Mega Man because I already talked about him enough in this video. This is Mega Man X. This would be my 4th Mega Man X figure, or 5th if you're going to count the other one. But in terms of posable figures, this would be my 4th. I actually did own a Mega Man X figure in the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite line. I had the Sentinel True Force Mega Man X figure, and I have the Giga Armor Mega Man X, and this would be my other one, but this is more based on the classic design of Mega Man X. I mean, the Hasbro one was also based on one too, but that one looks like shit. And again, 8 inches. I mean, 2 inches, and it still looks better than the Hasbro version. There's a bit of like a little speck on his mouth, but other than that, like, it looks so nice. Again, they're also very articulated. Has some really good posability. These are, I mean, it's still a little stiff because again, it's been in there for like a long ass time. And whenever I try moving this joint, I hear snapping noises. It could be because like it's been there for so long that it hasn't been moved around as much. But hey, I'd rather have a figure that's like tight and not loose. And luckily, the assembly was actually kind of a bitch to assemble these things. In fact, Megaman.exe's hand ended up like flung across the desk, and I had to find it. And I looked down, and it's like, oh, it's right next to the trash can. Oh, thank God I grabbed that before I end up missing that thing. But yeah, for a Mega Man X action figure for this size, it's actually a pretty nice figure. Now, in terms of accessories, he only comes with just one interchangeable hand. This time I got tweezers, so I could show you it. Yep, there's the extra hand, and you can see a little flesh color, and actually no, the little flesh doesn't really show up as much. Like the little rudders. Yeah, like I said, this is what the rudder looks like. These little, I don't know why they rendered this in flesh color instead of being the same color of plastic as the hands. Like again, I don't know why they did this. Maybe they thought it would be more efficient this way. I don't know, premium figures never made sense to be like, why color something like that's either the same color plastic or a different color plastic and not just, I don't know. They're just being extra with us. And another accessory this thing comes with is this. Yep, that's all he comes with. This is a dash effect accessory, and kind of disappointing because with the other guys you get like minifigures. Oh, if you wonder what Classic Mega Man comes with, like the blue version, he comes with an E-Tank, which I'm actually happy that I got it back again because I actually lost it. But even then, like it's kind of disappointing if I'm being honest. Capcom. I don't say the year when this was made. Yeah, I still like the figure a lot. It's probably my favorite out of the lot. I think I am missing like Star Force Mega Man because I now realize I have basically the first 4 incarnations of Mega Man. I'll just need Star Force and other figures from this line. We'll talk about those later. And then we got Megaman.exe, and honestly, this is a really nice figure. In fact, this is the second Mega Man I was ever exposed to. I didn't mention this before, but Mega Man X was the very first Mega Man I ever got exposed to. The first game I ever played was Mega Man X4, and around the same time, like, Battle Network was on TV. Or at least a few years later, because I played Mega Man X4 around the same time when Shrek was relevant. The first Shrek movie. But yeah, this was the second incarnation I was exposed to. And I never had a Mega Man.exe figure. Now having one in my hand, I actually like this a lot. I will say the head's a bit oversized compared to the rest of the characters, but the figure itself looks really nice. Looks nice, sleek, just like the actual design itself. Not my favorite interpretation of the characters, because I'm not a huge fan of the majority of the Battle Network designs. Except for Zero. Zero looks badass as fuck. But here, it looks really nice. It looks better than the Mattel figures, I can tell you that. And this figure actually comes with a plethora of accessories, surprisingly enough. And he even has a ball jointed waist, which is something that some of the other Mega Man figures wish they had, like classic Mega Man, but he doesn't. It's a regular swivel. And to show you off the accessories this thing comes with, get that out of there. It does come with this really tiny hand, and you can see that. Actually, no, this time around it's not as bad as when I did it with the other Mega Man. But still, I don't know why they painted the flesh color hand blue and not just render it in blue plastic. Again, they're just being extra with us. So he comes with that. He also comes with this thing. I thought, originally I thought this was going to be a battle chip, but no, it looks like, I don't know what's this thing, it has a peg. Does the thing have a peg? No. Maybe you're supposed to, hang on a second. Maybe that's what you're supposed to use it for? I don't know. That's kind of disappointing. And the last piece of accessory this guy comes with is his little sword. Yep, they actually gave him the sword. It's funny how this guy comes with a little bit more accessories than the others. And this is a really nice looking sword, rendered in like the translucent plastic, and you paint it over with blue paint. Now, I tried to like see if I can remove the hands from him, but I don't think I can, or maybe it's too tight on there, and again, these are really tiny figures and I don't want to break it. But I did mess around with this thing off camera, and I ended up plugging it on that weird looking thing. There. That's what it looks like. Not the most creative use of this, but it's better than nothing, I guess. I genuinely like this a lot. I think I like this entire like line a lot, actually. That makes me wish I gotten like the rest of this figure line, but I don't know. It was still pretty cool that I got this. Although there's one thing I didn't mention that's also part of this line. There's like this little Met figurine. Yeah, there's Met. I think that is meant for .exe, but I'm not sure because it wasn't in the little baggie. Again, this is what the typical like Mega Man figure looks like. Supposed to come in these things, but it seems like it didn't. So it may be maybe it was packaged in separately in the figure, or it's just like from another figure. Whatever the case may be, this is a pretty cool looking Met figure. It's not really, I don't think this is from like traditional Mega Man. This is specifically .exe Met, because I think they have the pickaxe, because the other ones didn't. Yeah, these are from .exe. And there you have it. These are all the Mega Man figures that I got from different sellers, and I was not expecting to talk about these a lot. Then again, I am a huge Mega Man fan, and to add more Mega Man figures into my collection is always a blessing. I did enjoy the lot that I got from the previous seller, as well as getting some other figures from different sellers. I just was not expecting to talk about all of them into one video. I could have just made them separately, or just talk about the one lot itself, but I figured like, nah, I might as well just make a large video about, my Mega Man figure collection. And I do not regret it. I generally like these figures a lot. I know I talked some criticism on certain ones, but that's just me being honest. But it doesn't mean I absolutely hate them all. I'm actually very grateful that I got these. And having them all together here, they look really good together. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I got all these figures for around $70 in total, I would say it's a really good deal, if I'm being honest. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll make more videos in the future. Until then, I'll see you guys later.